Welcome to Tech with Heart. I am your host, Michelle Calloway, the CEO of VRBO, an innovative software and media solutions company. And this is Tech with Heart. Tech with Heart is here to empower entrepreneurs to be successful in a digital era, help you to be competitive and relevant by embracing technologies and different growth strategies that are going to give you that long-term success that you so badly need, want, and deserve. Today's topic is innovation, specifically how to be innovative when hosting an event to keep people coming back for more and bragging about your event, so that next time you don't even have to do as much work to get people to come to your event. And with me today is a very special guest. Her name is Rachel LeRoy, and she is an innovative thought leader and founder of a company called Hip Maps. But most importantly, she's the mom of the most beautiful beagle in the world. So welcome to the Tech with Heart show, Rachel.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And hopefully you will not hear from Beacon the Beagle, but you might hear him in the background.
Well, we're all heart-centered here, so we welcome pets if he wants to be on camera. So I'm excited to talk about the topic of innovation today and how you have personally stepped into an innovative solution for an existing problem. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came about starting up your company, Hip Maps?
Yeah, I have been making maps for about 20 years using a mapping software. And this software is usually used in technical situations. It's used for analysis a lot. I was using it quite a bit while I was designing vineyards in Napa, California. And I love this software. I love making maps. I've always loved maps. And when I decided to go out on my own and be a consultant, I knew that I wanted to make map making part of what I did for my clients, in addition to a couple other things. But the maps part is what I love the most. So I made maps prettier than I had been making them before. And I loved making maps, and I still do love making maps for wineries to use in their tasting rooms, showing where the grapes are grown. And as those got, as I figured out how to make them prettier and prettier, more of like a graphic design artist would, but using this same software, I thought, how many other applications could this be used in where I could create these beautiful maps using this software and take advantage of the technology that this software has, in that it knows the place on Earth where I am making this map. It is bound to the Earth with the coordinates. And because we have smartphones and wonderful technologies, we can take those maps and see them on our phones in relation to where everything else is on the Earth. So my pulling this all together has resulted in Hip Maps, where I make custom maps for a variety of situations. And most of the time it's for sharing recommendations of places to eat and drink and play, and showing them on this beautiful map. And I created a smartphone app. So with if someone downloads my app and enters an access code that the host provides, they can see the host's custom map right on their phone, and they can see their location right on the custom map, just like you would see it on Google Maps. So the user knows where they are in relation to what is being shown on the map, and they can also get directions to whatever is shown on the map.
So you found kind of a need. People were liking the solution that you provided, and then you took it to the next level and decided to create your entire business model around that solution. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
And so therefore you have now a unique differentiator, right? So let me just go back first and talk about the innovative solution that you came up with, and let's just paint another picture. Okay, so let's just say you are an Airbnb owner, right? And so you want to give people the most amazing experience beyond just the facilities, the place where they're going to stay. You really want them to feel that you have gone above and beyond all your competitors to make them feel so incredibly like empowered to have the best stay, not just in your home or your apartment or whatever you're renting out, but the environment around you, the community. Like I know what I love about traveling isn't the driving there part. It's the once I'm there part, I want to explore and I want to know from locals what are some of the hottest spots to go and explore? What are some of the hottest restaurants? And I don't necessarily want to have to search it all up on Yelp or whatnot. I mean, those are helpful too. But I love your solution because you're painting the picture for them and you're giving that Airbnb owner the ability to collaborate with your technology to provide a better experience for their guests. Am I right?
You are, yes, you nailed it. I should hire you to do my marketing. Yes, that's exactly the idea. The Airbnb owner or the lodge owner, whoever it is, they know their area. They know where the best pizza is and where the coolest coffee shop is and where some great walks are around a lake or a hike or whatever it is that their area is known for and they want to embrace and share. It's really about sharing their recommendations and their experiences with their guests. And then their guests feel you're not only connected to the area, but also it saves them time and they just have a much better experience in the area with something that's beautiful. It's not just a list, right? It's if you have a list, that's great, but you still have to, the user still has to do the work of putting it into Google. Where is it located? How far away is it? Does it have good reviews? This provides all of that in a beautiful way that's, branded and styled exactly as somebody wants. Um, and the person can see it on their phone, so they can tell, oh, can I walk there or do I have to drive? It's just perspective.
It's a beautiful thing what you've created. And the reason I was so excited to have you on the Tech with Heart show is because we're always trying to empower entrepreneurs to think a little outside the box. Be innovative. When you find that there is a problem, how are you solving it? But how are you solving in a way nobody else is? How are you taking things to that next level? How are you setting yourself apart? And Rachel, you've done that. And I'm very excited for you. I know you're just embarking upon getting this out there to the world. And I'm very happy to have you on our show today because I want to broadcast this message that, hey, this is a really unique way to provide an overall warm yet very rich experience for those that attend your event. So if you're a business owner, you could implement this into your physical live event because you're going to provide your visitors with above and beyond experience of exploring your local area.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of innovation comes from the root of I want that, and it doesn't exist yet, right? So I definitely would love to have this when I go to a conference or when I go to a retreat or when I go to a business meeting that's maybe a full day or 2 days in a town that I'm not familiar with, because chances are, I mean, almost always there are hours outside of the actual structured event where I would like to take a walk. I would like to go to a coffee shop. I would like to, whatever it is, fill up my hours. And to have that basically handed to me by the host of this event, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I am thinking that this event coordinator, this event is just so much better than the other ones that I've gone to that didn't provide this. It really takes it up a notch, and it's going to be very, very memorable. I'm going to always remember, oh, those are the people that had that cool map that was so helpful.
Yeah, so you're actually tapping into an emotional feeling as well. So I've been hearing from a lot of gurus, it's about sometimes the little things that you do above and beyond. So like some events, they send out swag bag boxes, especially even during a virtual, the shelter in place kind of ordeal that we went through with COVID. I saw some events still happening. They all went virtual, but they decided they weren't going to just stop with just the flat 2D screen. They were going to go above and beyond and send their registered guests a swag box or like a bonus box. And that made the experience a little bit more fun, even though we still weren't able to be with amongst one another in the flesh. So it's those tiny little things, but yours isn't so tiny. It's actually quite remarkable, because when you go to an event and you spend the money, you invest the time beyond the time where you're spent in the conference hall, with that particular entity that you're there to learn from or whatever. You want to mingle and you also want to explore. That's what a lot of business owners love about being in business, is that you get to travel and you get to write it off, right? You get to travel, write it off as a business expense, and you're seeing different parts of the country and you're experiencing different cultures, because it's very different from, say, California to when you go to Wyoming. I mean, it's just a different culture and you want to experience that culture. So I'm incredibly impressed, because I love innovative people. That's one of the things that I stepped into as a founder of Revelio, is the innovation of bringing augmented reality into existing marketing to provide that additional next level kind of experience. And that's really where it's at. So let's talk about the need for entrepreneurs to uniquely differentiate themselves. What have you been hearing so far about your solution versus just Google Maps? What are you hearing from people?
Well, I think that people are very excited to remove the noise of Google Maps. And by that, I mean, when you go to Google Maps or Apple Maps, whatever it is, you see so much. You see every shop, every business, everything. And it can be super overwhelming, right? So having this personalized map that basically sits on top of Google Maps in my app, it just sits right on there. That really helps narrow in the choices that someone makes, because it is so overwhelming when you have so many choices. I'm also hearing that some people are saying, I can't believe this didn't already exist. And to me, that I love to hear that. And I think every entrepreneur has this roller coaster of emotions of, I came up with something amazing. I'm so excited. And then, oh my God, did this not exist before because it's a terrible idea and nobody's going to use it? So, that one comment of, I can't believe this doesn't already exist, is like, well, maybe it doesn't exist for a good reason. And then you counter that with, oh no, this is a really good idea. And I'm really excited to share it with people and hear, a lot of it is about spreading joy and making life happier and easier for people. And if I can help do that in some small way, that's fantastic. It makes me very happy.
I think it's so important for an entrepreneur to do their research, to first find out what is the real problem? What is a real problem people are having? And so for that, in your case, it would have been like, well, people are going to events, but they don't know what to do after the event is over. They're just kind of like either feeling overwhelmed because they don't know the real good choices before them without doing a ton of research. Because usually when you go to an all-day event, you're kind of sort of like, oh, I just need to chill my brain. You don't really want to think, and you don't want to have to make a ton of decisions. So you found that there was a need, and then you came up with an innovative solution that uses existing services like Google Maps. You're just doing an overlay, but you've gone above and beyond and you've made it artistic, and you're going to work with the event coordinator or host to make it so that it's the stuff that they really want to focus on. So you're involving them, and it's good that you've done your research and then you've created a solution that seems like realistic, something people can easily implement. And now you're uniquely differentiating their event because of your service. So you've done the research. What would you suggest to entrepreneurs when it comes to, like you said, addressing that question is like, well, why hasn't anybody done it? What was your process for making sure that you were heading in the direction that was going to be fruitful for you and for everybody else?
Well, I did a lot of research on if, of course, if this already existed and I had just missed it, or it was not a well-known company. So I tried to find out if someone had already tried and failed, or had this and just wasn't marketing it in a way that most people knew about. So I definitely did that sort of behind the scenes research. And then I also did a lot of research and thinking, and some of it is just, creative thinking of who would this help? I mean, I initially thought it came up with this idea specifically for weddings. And I was going to only target weddings because how many weddings have I gone to out of town where I would have loved this? And the pandemic with the shutdown everywhere and everyone canceled all their weddings certainly helped encourage me to think of other applications for this kind of thing. And vacation rentals and business events are just fantastic choices for this kind of technology. And I also did some testing. So I initially tested this out using someone else's app that I had no control over. It was a third-party app, and I tried, how did this experience work? And the feedback was very, very valuable in that people did not want to jump through multiple hoops to get a map into an app. It was too complicated. It was too many steps. People gave up. And as soon as I heard that when someone said, "Oh, no, I just gave up. I couldn't figure it out," I thought, whoa, right there. I have to build my own app because I have to be in control of it. I have to make it as simple as possible. And the last thing I want to do is make someone frustrated. This needs to be a joyful experience. It cannot be a frustrating one.
Well, I'm really glad that you did your research and then you did your testing, because when we step into a role of creating any kind of technology, we always want to know going in, what are our needs versus our wants? And it sounds like you figured out the need is to create it to be very simple. And then you can only continue to enhance it, but you've created your MVP. I know you're just getting started to announce this out to the world. And again, I just can't tell you how proud of you I am, because I am too a female tech founder. I stepped into the role not because I ever dreamt of it. It's just because it was shown to me that there is this need to connect people through the magical portal of augmented reality. So congratulations. I do want to talk to the audience though about what you said about weddings, and then you realized later it was vacation rentals and then business events. So when it comes to being innovative and then coming up with a solution, and then you're figuring out your unique differentiator in that solution so that you're going to set yourself apart from your competitors, then it's a matter of figuring out what your distribution is going to look like. How are you going to spread the word quickly so that you can get ahead of any potential competitors out there that are going to want to jump on that train? So your distribution plan was you found some existing industries. Can you talk a little bit more about what your plan is to spread this out there now that you've got the app built?
Yeah. I love networking and I love connections. So I have been, I kind of have my list of target industries, and I've joined several associations that target those industries. So I've joined a couple wedding and live events associations and communities because I also love connecting with people I'm not a very good salesperson. I just want to, hang out with somebody half the time. So I do want to learn from people in the live events industries. And that goes for personal events as well as business events. Planners, wedding planners and event planners for businesses are just a wealth of information. And I definitely like partnering with those folks. And as well as the whole vacation rental realm with Airbnb and VRBO and all the other, companies where people can put up their vacation rental homes, and lodges and bed and breakfasts. I love to travel, so I have this dream of marketing on the road, basically as a way that I can just spread the word personally, which I know is not very efficient, but it sounds great.
Well, let me just reiterate how important it is for you to have a plan. If you're going to be innovative and disruptive, in the sense that you're coming to the table with something brand new, you definitely want to know your distribution plan. How are you going to get it out there and get it out there fast? And so what Rachel has discovered is that she's not carving out a new lane all by herself. She's actually going to jump on existing very fluent traffic sources, which are the VRBOs, Airbnbs, and business events, and meeting with and working with event coordinators to like spread the word, because this is unique, but it's really going to be beneficial to all events to be innovative and help the others have such a memorable, positive experience at that event with these little added wonderful things, you know, like the Hip Maps is going to offer. It's really going to end up impacting them in a very powerful way that maybe they don't see right away until they've experienced it, because it really is about the experience that you're providing with people and the way that you make them feel. So Rachel, how can somebody go quickly learn about what you've built? And then well, I'll come back to you. I want to ask you one more question before we wrap this up. So how can they reach out to you?
Well, going to my website, hipmaps.com, that's HIPMAPS.com. I have some fun videos on there and lots of photos to learn about the experience and how it all works. And that is the best place. And I also have all my social media links on that website. And I love to post educational stuff about maps. So if you have any interest in maps, please just follow me on social media and you will be entertained.
Fantastic. One more thing, Rachel, what would you like to leave as far as a memorable quote or a phrase when it comes to those that are stepping into being somewhat innovative and uniquely separating themselves from their competitors? Is there any phrases that you would like to leave with them?
For someone who is looking for innovation, I would say the key is to be flexible. Roll with the punches, be open to changing what you thought was your fantastic idea and roll with it.
Very good advice. All right, so you heard her. Go to hipmaps.com if you want to learn a little bit more about what she's built. Rachel is going to be part of the Tech with Heart network. I'm going to invite you, if you are an entrepreneur who's looking for guidance to learn about more emerging technologies, or just how can you begin to embrace technologies if that's always been somewhat of a barrier for you. This is a very safe, very nurturing, heart-centered learning environment through the Tech with Heart community. We all grow alongside one another, and we also bring experts to the table to provide insights and give you value as an entrepreneur. So we're looking for more leaders. If you're crushing it in your business and you have a heart to give back and to serve entrepreneurs so that they too can begin crushing it, we need people like you. Just go to techwithheartnetwork.com, join our community, reach out to me personally. Let me know if you would like to be interviewed on our show, or if you would like to co-lead a teaching event of some sort. We are looking to expand and grow our community. So techwithheartnetwork.com is the website to go to. Thank you so much, Rachel, for being here today. I want to wish all of you much success.